Friends, in today's video, we will see what is a firewall. A firewall is a system that is designed to prevent unauthorized access from entering a private network by filtering the information that comes in from the internet. A firewall blocks unwanted traffic and permits legitimate traffic. So, a firewall purpose is to create a safety barrier between a private network and the public network. Because out over the internet, there is always going to be a hackers and malicious traffic that may try to penetrate into a private network to cause harm, and a firewall is the main component on a network to prevent this. Firewall is especially important to a large organizations that has lot of computers and servers in their network because you don't want all those devices accessible to everyone on the internet where a hacker or intruder can come in and totally disrupt your organization. So that's why you need a firewall to protect them. A firewall that is used in computer network is very similar to how a firewall works in a building structure. In fact, this is where the word firewall comes from. A firewall in a building structure provides a barrier so that in the event of an actual fire on either side of a building, the firewall is there to keep the fire contained and to keep it from spreading over to the other side. So the firewall is there to keep a fire from destroying the entire building. But if the firewall wasn't there, the fire would spread to the other side and the whole building would be destroyed. The network firewall works in a similar way as a structural firewall. It stops harmful activity before it can spread into the other side of the firewall and cause harm to a private network. So, in today's high tech world, a firewall is essential to every home and especially a business or organization to keep their network safe. A firewall works by filtering the incoming network data and determined by its rule if it is allowed to enter a network. These rules are also known as access control list. These rules are customizable and determined by a network administrator. The network administrator decide not only what can enter a network but what can leave a network. So these rules either allow or denies permission. So as an example, here we have some rules in the firewall control list. It shows a list of IP address that has been allowed or denied by this firewall. You can see traffic from some IP address are allowed to enter the network traffic, but traffic from one IP address has been denied. So if a traffic from this IP address tries to get into this network, the firewall will deny it because of the rule that are set in the firewall, but the other IP address are granted access because the rules allow them. Firewall don't make rules based in IP addresses only, but they can also make rules based on domain name, protocols, programs, port numbers, and keywords. Let's say in this example, the firewall rule are controlling the access by port numbers, and let's say that the rule have allowed incoming data that's using port number 80 and 53, and the data using these ports have been given access to the network. So any incoming data that is using those ports can pass to the firewall, but also in this firewall, the rule have been denied any data that is using the port number 25 and 21. So any incoming data that is using those port number, the firewall will deny access and it won't get past the firewall. So in a nutshell, this is how firewall basically works. Let's see about the firewall types. Firewall comes in different types. One type is called as a host-based firewall, and this is a software firewall. This is a kind of firewall that is installed on a computer and it protects that computer only and nothing else. For example, latest versions of Microsoft operating systems come pre-packaged with a host-based firewall, and you can see that example over here. There are even third-party host-based firewalls that can be purchased and installed on a computer. For example, Zone Alarm is one of the popular third-party host-based firewall. Even lots of antivirus program will have an inbuilt host-based firewall. Another type of firewall is called as a network-based firewall. A network-based firewall is a combination of a hardware and a software, and it operates at the network layer. It operates at the network layer. It is placed between a private network and the public network. But unlike a host-based firewall, where it only protects that computer, a network-based firewall protects the entire network. And it does this through management rules that are applied to the entire network so that any harmful activity can be stopped before it reaches the computers. Now, network based firewall can be a standalone product which is mainly used by large organizations. They can also be built in as a component of a router, which is what a lot of smaller organizations rely on. Or they can also be deployed in a service provider cloud infrastructure. Now, lots of organizations will use both a network-based and a host-based firewall. They will use a network-based firewall to protect their entire network as a whole, and they will use a host-based firewall for the individual protection for their computers and servers. By doing this, it will ensure maximum protection because if the harmful data just so happens to pass the network firewall, the host-based firewall on each computer will be there to stop it. So my friend, that was all about the firewall. If you like my video, subscribe to my YouTube channel and share with your friends. Thanks and see you in the next video.